Adulting isn't always as glamorous as it seemed to be when we were kids. I mean, when we were kids, we couldn't wait to grow up, thinking that we'd have all the freedom and independence in the world. But the reality is quite different, isn't it? Bills, responsibilities, and the constant pressure to have it all figured out has made me want to smack my younger self in the face and say, "You were wrong, bro." And after over a decade of being considered what is now a grown adult, I've observed 5 things that I feel like are universally true amongst all of us. And the first one is, no one seems to know what they're doing. It's funny, it often seems like everyone around us seems to have a general understanding about how to go about life, but in reality, they don't. I know that as a child, I would look up to these adults and I would just think that they had all the answers to life. Our parents and our teachers, our role models, Steve from Blue's Clues, they all appeared like they had all the answers to life and they were super confident. But ironically, as we all started to transition into adulthood, it was pretty evident that they were lying to us. Pretty much everyone around us is merely just trying to make sense of their own lives and the world around them. And although from the outside it may seem like others have their lives together, they might have a successful career and a beautiful home and a seemingly perfect family, but behind closed doors and without those filters, they're struggling with the same shit we are. And I'm not gonna lie, it's comforting to know that I'm not in this alone. Next is society's unrealistic expectations. From a young age, we're fed a timeline for life's major milestones. Graduate from college, land a dream job, get married, have children, and buy a house, all before reaching a certain age. And this cookie cutter timeline, although it might sound good in nature, it's just not something that everyone is excited about. It's not something that everyone wants in life. But even if they are getting satisfaction in other areas of their life, because they're not lined with what is society's expectations of them, they feel inadequate or they feel left behind or they feel like losers. When I graduated college, the economy sucked and I still didn't have a real good grip on what I wanted to do with life. Even the jobs I didn't want, I couldn't even get. And my friends and peers around me were all getting good jobs as bankers or accountants or going into trades, and they all seemed like they were just checking off the boxes and doing life as everyone is kind of just told them that they need to go about doing it. And I struggled and I felt like shit, and I ended up taking a job that I really didn't want. And it made me question why I even went to college in the first place and went into all this debt just to have this job where I'd have to travel an hour one way and an hour back and be miserable at. And I was really depressed. But I thought that if I quit the 9-to-5 dream and the corporate ladder and I went and actually did something that I truly enjoyed, that I would fail and that I'd be doing life wrong and that everyone around me would judge me and they would think that I'm failing. And it took me a while to realize that life unfolds at its own pace and everyone's journey is different and you don't have to abide by that standard. You can pursue something that you're really passionate about and be really successful at it. But now letting go of that timeline and society's expectations, it's really freed me to just go after what I want and just be happy knowing that as long as I'm doing things that bring me joy and fulfillment, then I'm good. Next is that dilemma of isolation and disconnect. Naturally, as we grow older, life just becomes increasingly more busy and responsibilities just tend to pile up. And amidst all this chaos, it's so easy to just lose touch with friends and family and people that we used to connect with on a regular basis. And as a result, our social life just takes a massive hit and all the cherished memories and people in our lives that we really relied on just tend to no longer be around. And as we move through different life stages, our friend groups tend to change a lot. Those same reliable friends no longer have time for us. They start new families, new careers, they pick up everything and move to Nebraska. I don't know why. And although social media platforms portray this sense of connection, they could paradoxically foster a sense of disconnection. And this pressure to appear perfect and put together online could make the person feel very unauthentic and not be vulnerable. And we'll hesitate sharing our vulnerabilities or our struggles, fearing judgment or rejection. And I see a lot of these videos on YouTube how they're like, I'm 25, I'm 30, and I have no friends. And that really seems to be an epidemic. As you get older, you might have 1 million followers online, but you hardly have your dog as a friend. They're in your life because they need shelter and food. But I'm also willing to bet that a lot of people making those videos or feel this way are spending more time than they should on social media or playing video games or just staying confined to a small radius around their house or their neighborhood. If you step away from screen time and you actually invest time in nurturing relationships and actually go out of your way to maybe meet a friend that moved 30 miles south or whatever the case, then you will have a much better chance maintaining those close relationships. Next is navigating adulthood's layers of loss. Honestly, this one scares me a lot because as we grow older, you start to worry about close family members passing away, and every time you might get a call from someone in your close life that you know is older, and you're like, oh my god, just the subconscious back of your mind, like, it's something wrong. It's always scared me, and I hate seeing my parents grow older. It freaks me out. Outside of losing all my grandparents, I feel that one of the biggest losses for me was just the loss of my youth. We could eat whatever we want, not gain weight. We could sleep in as long as we wanted to. We could get injured and bounce back the next day. And I remember as a child that dream of becoming a professional athlete. I grew up in a very small town, in love with the game of basketball, and my competition around me actually made me believe that I had a shot to play professionally. But as I grew older and I moved away to a D1 school, I realized that hell nah! But letting go of that ambition was a bittersweet process. I just learned to have to just love the game and play it recreationally and just accept that it's not gonna happen. But throughout letting go of that dream has opened up other opportunities for other passions that I actually have a fair shot at being good at, like making a successful YouTube channel. And that leads me into creating a life of fulfillment. As we step into these complexities of adulthood, it becomes painstakingly clear that a fulfilling life doesn't just happen to us. Like I said, in our younger years, things are more laid out. You have a syllabus, you know what you need to accomplish to hit that milestone. But when you get to adulthood, that burden of creating that path lies on your shoulders without that syllabus. It's up to you. And this was very hard for me to accept. I was always low-key hoping that someone would just come and save me, that I would be at a McDonald's and some agent would approach me and say, hey, I like your face, let's put you on the cover of Men's Health. I don't know if that was delusional or if I just honestly believed that I was somehow different from everyone else. And it was in this waiting period that, go figure, never came, that I'm realizing that it's up to me, it's up to you to make life happen for you. Unless you're very lucky, you hear about those people on TV like Ashton Kutcher, how he was found in a McDonald's or whatever. You think that's gonna be you, and then you sit around and wait for your shot, for someone to come into your life and give you that opportunity, and it never happens. And you wake up much older in life thinking, what the hell was I doing? And I've gone through all that, and it's taught me the value of resilience and not being a victim, and really just knowing that it's up to you. No matter what happens, like, it's up to you to make it happen. And if you want to craft a true life of meaning, you have to connect your purpose to your actions. It's going to require a lot of introspection and courage and saying no to fear to go after what really matters to you. But it's within taking that risk and venturing into the unknown, which ultimately gets you to that point. If you take anything away from this video, it's that everyone's going through shit, and if you're able to just not let society's expectations drive who you want to become, then ultimately you're going to end up a lot happier. If you like this video, you know what to do. Like it, comment what you liked about it, subscribe, share it with your math teacher from 3rd grade. I don't know. I really need to get an air conditioning unit because this is ridiculous. You can probably see the beads of sweat just dripping through my forehead. Life. Thank you guys, love you, see you in the next video.